Hello, everyone. I hope you can all hear me. I've opened up the chat box, and while we are waiting for a few latecomers, if you see that chat box, if you could type in there where you are, city you're in, maybe the school that you attended originally to get your acupuncture license, and then also if you could let me know just how it's going. Maybe are you in practice? Have you opened your clinic yet? Interested to know that, and just generally how it's going. Don't worry about typos. No one makes more typos in chat boxes than me. So, hey Mindy, I'm not in practice. Yeah. Hey Jonathan. Jonathan, why does your name sound familiar to me? Currently practicing in Grand Rapids. Fantastic. Well, from Florida to Michigan. All right. Burr is right. Elk Grove. Currently practicing in Longmont. I assume that's in, yeah, Colorado, yeah. All right, well, I'm glad to see some folks are still working. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jack Miller. I'm the president of Pacific College. And until just a few hours ago, we thought we were gonna be able to open our clinic here in San Diego at the college in a limited fashion pretty soon. And then suddenly out of the blue, the new regulations came along that said colleges can't reopen. So, but I've got my KN95 mask. I'm still wondering what's so special about these. I mean, they don't look much different than the surgical masks that are like 1/10 the price. But anyway, I've got 2,000 of these at the college. We're ready to go. So anyway, thanks for joining me today to talk about the Transitional Doctorate of Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine and the Doctorate of Acupuncture. Let me get started. Oh, someone's saying their computer just blew up. Okay. Anyway, so to get started, I'd just like to briefly give you some background on why the transitional doctorate exists at all, and then obviously more about the degree itself. It's been some years now. I would say it's been 10 years or so since the profession started working on an entry-level doctorate. And the easiest way to think about what entry level means is just to think about the master's degrees that you all just wrote in the chat box that you went through to initially get licensed. So it was the profession's goal to evolve to making the doctoral program the entry level standard for licensure. And that's what we now have. We essentially now have two tracks to licensure. Students can still do the master's degree, or if they're qualified, they can go on to the doctoral degree. The vast majority now of our students in Pacific come in to the doctoral program because they meet the prerequisites. All right, and so what the profession did, which I think was a good plan, they essentially had the master's degree standards, and they layered in 28 specific doctoral competencies that would be on top of the master's degree that would create the doctorate. So like master's plus these 28 equals doctorate, plus some changes to prerequisites that we'll talk about in a bit. So what that allowed is for us to create a transitional doctoral program from those 28 specific doctoral competencies. Now, why would we need the transitional degree? Well, in every profession that's evolved and changed its entry-level standards, it has created a bridge for the pioneers of the program or pioneers of the profession, as well as even recent graduates that were still graduating from the original entry-level standard. For example, in physical therapy, which is the closest analog for our profession, their original entry-level standard was at the bachelor's degree. Then it moved to the master's degree, and now it's at the doctorate level. And so they have transitional degree programs to move people from all the way from the bachelor's all the way to the doctorate, and from the master's to the doctorate. We're fortunate to only have to go from the master's to the doctorate. And that's where these 28 competencies come in. So the program is, while you're going to get a tremendous amount of information about it, it's not like your entry-level program, which was really focused on the fundamentals of our medicine: point location, point functions, differential diagnosis, biomedical, herb functions, et cetera, if you went to an herbal program as well. So the 28 doctoral competencies are really focused on those things that master's level students need to really integrate into the medical system. So it's really about integrative medicine. That's what the profession decided was the differentiating characteristics between someone at the master's level and someone at the doctorate level. Someone who is fluent, moving through the medical system, interacting with our healthcare brothers and sisters from other fields. Right? The last bullet on this page mentions our accreditation. Why that was important was that for a long time, ACOM, which is our programmatic accreditor, did not accredit transitional degrees. They had not yet really recognized the value of them to our profession. And so because we were regionally accredited, we can offer programs at an accredited level that other acupuncture schools could not. That's since been remedied. But for a long time, we were really at the only ones doing this because of having regional accreditation. And I may have a slide on this later, but I'll jump into it now. Oftentimes people ask us about what does regional accreditation mean? Is that somehow a lower accreditation than the programmatic accreditation that ACOM offers? And quite the contrary. I often recommend students, if they really want to get chapter and verse on regional accreditation, Wikipedia has actually a pretty good page or two on it. And it really shows the long, long history of regional accreditation in the United States. It's probably not something that most of you need to be familiar with or are familiar with, because you don't, that's not your main job, is being an accreditor, being an educator. But regional accreditation is really the standard of accreditation in the United States and really around the world. It's emulated in other countries as well. It was designed way back in the day, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, to create an accreditation system across the country where schools could recognize the quality from one region to another. And so the only reason it's called regional is what these people did was they just divided up the country and said, okay, you guys handle the East Coast, we'll handle the center of the country, we'll handle the West Coast, we'll handle the Southwest. But it really allows your transcripts from when you get one from a regionally accredited institution to be recognized at other regionally accredited institution. And it's a very big deal. I hate to say, without sounding like I'm bragging, it took Pacific College 6 years, intense work and investment to achieve regional accreditation. And there are other schools that within our medicine that attempted that and couldn't succeed in it. So it is a big deal to have an earned degree. You'll have an earned doctorate degree from a regionally accredited institution. That will be a big deal for you when you finish this program. The couple other important points. A big focus of this degree is on ensuring that when you finish it, you've achieved parity with the students that'll be coming through the entry-level degree. And so that you won't feel like, oh, I got some sort of lesser type of a doctorate. It's not that at all. In fact, we've chosen standards for you to get into the program, certain courses that you have to do that I might not have otherwise, just simply to ensure that you won't have any sense that you've gotten anything less. Then in fact, I've said this before, because you're qualified for a transitional degree, in the case of many of you, it means that you were in the field earlier than people that might just be graduating from the entry-level doctorates today, right? So things around the prerequisites, co-requisites to the program are all there to ensure that you have parity with those people that have gone through the entry-level programs, okay? This other bullet, as I already mentioned, the PTs, OTs, occupational therapists have also gone through this kind of transition where they've created transitional, or what some people call degree completion programs. Audiologists and other professions have gone this route. So why do this? Well, one, it's the third from the right, or third from the left on my screen. A doctoral degree definitely increases your recognition and respect. Now, if maybe we were the masters of the universe and we can create all the rules to society, it might not be that way. And there might be some other system where maybe you didn't have to have a degree to get that. But particularly in medicine, the doctoral degree will open doors that might not open for you otherwise. Now, we have had lots of graduates from this program now, and many and such inspiring stories about what it's done for them. And some of our marketing material has it, but I do encourage you, we have now alum from this program in probably every state, and you should reach out to some of the people that have done the program and find out from them and see how it's affected their career. It's really what it's designed to do, because again, we're assuming that you know how to practice our medicine. You know how to break down, you know how to do differential diagnosis, select the right points and herbs if that's the training that you've had. But we're really trying to increase your confidence in interacting in the mainstream, right? And that's a really good thing for our profession to have recognized that that's where our opportunities lie, right? So, and just some examples. Well, these days it's a little different. I used to say you can't turn on the news without seeing something about the opioid crisis. Well, that's been pushed off the front page for a while, but still a problem, right? And it's one area where our medicine is pretty mainstream because of the great work of Nada and Dr. Michael Smith. In the substance abuse community, acupuncture is quite mainstream. And so your ability to reach out into other medical systems and show what Chinese medicine and acupuncture could do for substance abuse is a big opportunity for us. I mean, sounds a little mercenary, but we have a lot to offer here, and particularly in an area where we don't have to prove ourselves as much as we might in some other areas. If you go into this field, acupuncture will be quite well recognized. And then I'm sure you all saw that the American College of Physicians recommended medicine like ours, physical medicine, right? So acupuncture, massage, physical therapy, prior to any kind of pharmaceutical treatment of pain. This is not a small thing at all. This is really a big deal for our profession. Every Joint Commission, which is the accreditation commission for hospitals, the Joint Commission requires any hospital that wants their accreditation to have a plan for the non-pharmaceutical treatment of pain, right? That is a tremendous opportunity for you, not only to treat people, but to train people about non-pharm treatment of pain, right? So, and as I said before, having those two little letters in front of your name, DR, makes a difference, right? So it should definitely increase your opportunities for career advancement. Some people have, let's see, I have a question here. In the same place where you wrote where you are and whether you're practicing or not, if you have any questions, go ahead, type them in. If I lose track of them, type them in again. Sometimes you're scrolling down the list, these things, and you miss some. And April, who is my VP of admissions, put in a link to Wikipedia for regional accreditation. And Megan asked, given the limited clinic availability, will you consider allowing people to start this program before we graduate? So before you graduate from your entry-level program, I think is the question. That's a good question. And yeah, thanks for clarifying that. April may recall whether we've had a conclusion of that. I don't think we have. In other words, I don't think we're yet allowing that. It's certainly it's a definitely legitimate question. It's something that we can revisit again. Might depend on how far along you are. But I think in general, we're saying wait until you graduate. What school are you at, Megan? We have active clinic going here at all of our campuses, and there are ACOM has given quite a bit of latitude for online clinical training in the entry-level programs, which is what we're doing. Started in 7 now. Yeah. So, started in San Diego, now New York. Oh, in New York, PCOM. So, oh yeah. I mean, it is true that while our students are getting the online clinic, obviously limited at all 3 of our campuses right now in terms of the hands-on clinic. And Megan, I'm glad that you clarified that. So because you're at Pacific, we may have some more latitude about letting you start some classes prior to graduation. So why don't you reach out to April through admissions, and she can help you out there. So let's see, Adrian, if we're short on prereqs, can they be earned through other Pacific College courses? Yes, there are. Adrian, ask that again if I don't get to it. I'm going to get to all the prerequisites in a slide coming up, but I'll definitely address the prerequisites and how to earn them. Okay, all right. So let me jump in and just describe really quickly each of the courses that you'll go through. You'll see here that the program is a total of 22 credits. It's 360 hours in the seat. And before I even jump into the description of the courses, some students have said, well, how can I earn a doctorate in just 22 credits? And I've done a little math for them. One, it's not just 22 credits. You need 90 undergrad units to qualify for this program. At Pacific College, if you're in our Masters of Traditional Oriental Medicine, you'll have taken a little bit more than 190 credits in that program. So that's 280 credits. And then you'll do these 22. So you'll have 302 credits to earn your doctorate. That's a lot more than 22. And I'll give you something to compare it to. Physical therapy that has a doctoral program now. Students need 120 to get in as opposed to the 90, but their doctoral program is only 120. So those two together, 240 credits to earn their doctorate. You'll have done, in the case of a Pacific grad, and it'll vary across the various undergrad entry-level programs that you've done, but 300 credits. So 60 credits, that's 2 full academic years more than what PTs are doing for a doctorate. So nobody that earns a doctorate in this program through the transitional or entry level has any explaining to do about the amount of work they've done to earn their doctorate. So Foundations of Evidence-Informed Practice is a class that will inculcate the habit of looking at the evidence on all the cases that you're going to treat, right? So that means instead of, especially for you, those of you who've been in practice for a long time, instead of doing the same thing over and over again, you'll look and see what's new. right? What's Western medicine have to say about this disease? Are there lab tests that I can use to track my patient's progress, right? Um, Same thing in Chinese medicine. Are there podcasts about COVID-19 that have been out about, that I can reference to treat my patients with upper respiratory disorder? So it's a habit that is in every good professional. And you'll see evidence-informed practice as a catchphrase in every profession now, whether it's business, law, psychology, medicine, evidence-informed practice, with good reason. I mean, it really is an appropriate habit of a professional, right? To not continue to do the same thing over and over again, right? Because you can always get better, even those things that work, right? Can you do them quicker, faster, cheaper, right? That's what benefits our patients. Interprofessional communication is a short class, but it'll challenge you to frame our concepts into a language that your patients and other healthcare providers can understand. Now, many of you, if you've been in practice, have been doing that for a while. I'm sure you can't get by without it, but this will make sure that those skills are tight. Healthcare systems, very interesting class, because I don't know about you, but I've always kind of like thought, wow, US healthcare system is like some monolith, and also been a little bit uncertain, lacking confidence about approaching other kinds of systems, whether there be, nonprofits or HMOs, PPOs, multidisciplinary clinics, about how I would seek employment there or cooperation, referrals, whatever, because I don't know exactly what they need. This class will teach you that, right? What about credentialing for major hospital groups? What do they expect? How are they different from other non-governmental agencies, government systems, profits, no nonprofits? It really kind of will open up your eyes to the fact that healthcare system in the United States is not one thing. It is a multifaceted thing. And the more confident you are in it and understanding it, the more confident you'll be in approaching it and seeking opportunities within it. Preventative medicine, public health is really what it says, how Chinese medicine can best function in those areas, right? They are particularly preventive medicine is a strong suit of ours, right? And public health, how do we reach out to broader community, right? Substance abuse, NADA, treatment protocol, community acupuncture, working in community clinics are all things that we can do to increase our influence culturally. Advanced integrative diagnostics will challenge you to refine your Chinese medicine diagnosis and your biomedical diagnosis and how to see they would work together, right? So are there biomedical tests that I can use to really figure out what's going on with the patient, right? You cannot help but be impressed with the vast knowledge that Western medicine has accumulated. If you just open up one of their texts, right, and read about any of the diseases, it's fantastic. You read some of the patterns there and try to put them into Chinese medicine is really good practice, right? So we often say that Chinese medicine will take a disease, let's say diabetes, and break it down into 3 or 4 different kinds of diabetes, right? But Western medicine does the same exact thing, right? It can take a host of disorders or symptoms and go, well, when they're like this, it's this disease, but when they were like this, it's like this disease. So, we can really work together and get a better understanding of our individual patients and how to treat them. And certainly, the more you know about biomedicine, the easier it is, the more confident you'll feel about interacting with medical doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, chiropractors, physical therapists, whatever. Right? So let's see, I'm going to skip applications of interprofessional communication for just 1 second, and I'll get back to it. Integrative case management is similar to advanced integrative diagnostics, but there it's going to be even more case-based. All right. So what about this case? How do we treat it from both perspectives? Practice-based learning goes back to kind of the evidence-informed practice where it engenders another important habit of professionalism, and that is to be a lifelong learner, right? And to use every patient that walks into your office as an opportunity to learn, right? Again, don't think, oh, I've seen this before, I know what to do, right? And what can I learn from that patient, right? Along the way, it's also some practice building stuff, so that's nice too. Integrative pain management is a new course for us. This will be second or third semester that we've offered it. It replaced clinical research, design statistics. I know everybody's really disappointed they won't have a stats class, but this integrative pain management alone can be a deciding factor on whether you do this program or some other one. State of the art, a lot of work went into it, and it obviously focuses on an area where acupuncture and Chinese medicine excels, right? And so this is a really good class. I hope that you all get to take it. So the application for interprofessional communication, which that'll be the last time I say that, from now on it's AIPC, is the only class where you actually have to leave your house to do it. Although right now we have alternatives for that as well. And Lena Gupta, my dean of this program, can't be here today, and she could have given you chapter and verse, but there are alternatives. But what this is normally about, and hopefully will normally be again soon, is you will actually go out into the field, make a relationship with another healthcare provider of any kind or multiple kinds, as long as they're not other Chinese medicine practitioners. And you will ask to simply observe in their practice for 30 hours and converse with them about what it is they do and what it is you do. We have had now, call it 1,000 people gone through this class. Probably every one of them went, oh no, that sounds like I gotta call somebody up, and I gotta, you know, it's challenging to our kind of natural, introvert. Well, after they've done it, they come back and say, thank God you made me do that. This was the best thing. It was worth the price of admission. I was observing in an ER. I was in an operating room. I met these doctors. They're referring me patients. It's so worth doing. So, sometimes school is about kind of pushing yourself just a little bit. This isn't, it's not a huge challenge, but it is a little bit more than just sitting at home and studying and spitting back information, right? So, but, especially those of you who are new practitioners, what a great way to start your practice. So that is the description of the classes. I'm going to go to before I leave this slide, up to 5 units may be transferred if you've taken a course at the graduate level that is very much similar to one of our courses. It's not very common, I will warn you in advance. It'll be virtually impossible for integrative pain management because no one's offering a course like this. And so, don't expect to get 5, but you may. We have definitely done that. But that is the max. If for some reason, coincidentally, you just happen to have more than those that might have been transferred, my apologies. We are limited by regulations to what we can transfer. And you'll just have to repeat the class that's the most interesting to you that you didn't get transfer credit for. But I don't even know if that's ever happened. So I don't know why I bother talking about it much. So that's that. Prereqs. Is there another slide somewhere down the line about this? I'm going to just jump into it right now. Let me see. In fact, let me go to that because I think it is important and definitely don't want to forget about it. And I could go back to those. Okay, so yeah, here we go. So to apply and be accepted into the program, there's a few steps. The first is applying and then getting us your transcripts. First, those that evidence you're undergraduate, right? Pre-entry level program, and then transcripts from your entry level acupuncture program. If you don't have the 90 units of undergrad coursework, indeed, some of your entry level master's courses may count towards those, okay? And our admissions counselors can tell you exactly which ones. Additionally, if you don't have the 90, even with the sum that you'll get from the master's level, there's what we call, well, what is called the college level exam program. And I used to say you could go into any bookstore and buy a prep book on that, but now you go onto their website and you can find prep on that. And the CLEP, college level exam program, are a whole host of courses or tests that you can take to simply earn credit. So let's say you didn't have a biology class in your master's or your undergrad, but you kind of learn a fair bit of biology now, just having become an acupuncturist. You take that test, you pass it, you get 3 credits or sometimes 6 credits. English composition, you probably didn't have that in your master's level program, and you might not have taken it undergrad. And if you can read a newspaper and understand it, you can pass the English composition CLEP. I took it, I know for sure you can pass it, 6 credits, just like that. American history, flip through American history text, take it, you might do well. Those CLEP exams are graded on a curve. And so, for example, I did do the American history test. Guaranteed did not get more than 55% of the questions right, for sure, let's say half. But yet my score was an 85%, which means I did better than 85% of the people that took the test. And so I passed. So same thing, those are classes that, or courses, tests that you can earn college level credit pretty fast if you don't have those 90. So don't let that be a barrier to trying to earn your doctorate. The initial evaluation of your undergrad, or rather say your entry level master's program, will be looking at whether the program that you did is equivalent enough to Pacific's master's. Now, in most cases, it won't be in terms of the amount of units, but we're not looking like, let's say we offer, whatever, 9 units of anatomy and you had 8, that's okay, right? But if you had no orthopedic neurological evaluation, then you need to demonstrate some competency in that area. If you didn't do as much clinical science as we did, some schools have half as much, that's not close enough for us. You need to show a higher level of clinical science understanding. Medical report writing is another one. So those are the 3. Now, I didn't just pick those randomly. Those are the 3 that, after we've basically looked at the transcripts of every entry-level program in the United States, have determined are often or occasionally lacking compared to Pacific. So the good news is, instead of requiring you to take those courses at Pacific College, which would actually be 4 courses, 12 credits, would cost about $5,000. Instead, we've created assessment tests, right? Evaluations of your medical report writing, a test of your clinical science knowledge, and then same thing of the orthopedic and neurological evaluation. Now, ortho-neuro eval is something that is even more challenging than the other 2. So what we put together is a kind of a very short remedial course, videos of the relevant ortho-neuro exams that you'll need to know to pass our assessment test. All right, so you would look at these videos and pass the test. We need to make sure that everybody, because these are things that are going to be discussed quite a bit in your classes, that you're at least conversant. And so instead of those costing you $5,000 in tuition, Each of those assessment exams is $150. The medical report writing and the clinical science, $150 each. And then the ortho neuro is $250 because it essentially is evaluating 2 courses at Pacific. So you have 250, 150, 300, so $550 versus 5,000. Okay, so that is some of the prereqs. Let me go back and see if any of these other slides. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Let me just take a breather for 1 second and see if I missed any questions. There's my cursor, thank goodness. And I know April, thank goodness, is here, so she may be answering some of these as well. Semester. Are semester, quarter, or trimester units treated the same? Oh, April, you just said they're different, but they won't come in so much other than the 90 units of prereqs, right? If you went to a school that was on the quarter system, the 90 units will be, I can do the math really quick here. No, I can't, 3/5 will be like, you know, it's going to be more like 120 or something like that. So, but we'll figure it out. Let's see. A link to the bios of some or all. Chad, are you asking if we can provide a link to the bios or some of our teachers? Oh, you answered that one too. Okay, man, I got it easy here. Okay, so the delivery of this program. We've had a long time to develop our skills in online education. We've been doing it now for, I think, 8 years, and now have delivered thousands of courses online. What we have found is that synchronous learning, and that's kind of this experience. You're there, you're alive, I'm here, I'm alive. But you're only getting a fraction of the experience. And you know, now as more of us are doing more and more Zoom webinars and stuff like that, you may see even some more of the features where it can be 2-way. But in all of our classes in this program, it's a 2-way experience. I can see you, you can talk to me, you can talk to each other. Additionally, we will break up the class. Say a class has 25 students in it. The teacher will lecture for a little while, and that goes a little bit into the instructional design. No teacher is going to get up and just talk at you for an hour like I'm doing here, or let alone 3 hours, right? I mean, so the lecture may be 20, 30 minutes. Then there'll be a project. Let's talk about this issue. And she'll break the class up into, say, 5 breakout rooms. There'll be 5 people in each room. You'll discuss that project for, you know, another 20, 30 minutes, whatever. Come back together as a group and present your findings, right? And so this goes on throughout the program. Additionally, there's polling, things like that, where, you know, the teacher will want to see what you all think about a particular issue, right? And then you can show the results of that survey in real time to each other. So this is really good stuff that's, you know, so much better than the old asynchronous model where, you know, we just sent you PowerPoint slides that you would look at and you'd read your own assignments or your, you know, reading assignments, and then you go online in a forum, let's say, and then, you know, it can work, but we prefer this greatly. We're seeing very high level of satisfaction with students. Minimum technology requirements, really, if you got here and you can hear me okay, you're probably fine. But we will evaluate, make sure you know, have reasonable bandwidth and a, you know, reasonably new computer, but you don't have to go run out and buy a new computer. I think the last time I talked to my IT department, they were saying 5 or 6 years old is still just fine, right? So that's, you know, I would assume most people have that and have broadband. The other good thing about the program is, because of its success, is that we have a lot of students that are doing the program. And so there may be 100 students taking a given class, which allows us to offer it 4 or 5 times, right? So there's sections of the class. So the chances of you finding a schedule that works for you is very good. And we have students that are around the world taking the program. And so the time zones are pretty good. I mean, we have classes that are starting at 6 a.m. on the West Coast. So students on the East Coast, boom, they get up 9 o'clock, they're ready to go, right? And so that could even be taken at a reasonable time in Europe, right? So it's a lot of flexibility in that regard. All right. Some questions about faculty. So we know which ones teach online. Yeah, so Chad, you just get with April and she'll give you all the information about the faculty. Okay. So just a few other points. A very nice thing about doing this program here at Pacific is you get to be part of Pacific's alumni network, which is huge. And, you know, alumni it's a nice thing. It's free. It doesn't cost. It's the one thing you're not paying for, but yet, you know, if you need a referral or you need some advice from someone, you know, a world away, you can call and you say, I did Pacific's program, and they're going to recognize that. The Doctor of Acupuncture, I think, is becoming the standard way to refer to people in our profession. Currently licensed acupuncturists or just acupuncturists, but I think Doctor of Acupuncture as DAC is going to be catching on more and more as more people do the entry level and have done the transitional degree. So earning this obviously keeps you on par with current degree standards. And as I mentioned before, you'll have an earned doctorate from a regionally accredited college that has a lot of currency. Some of you may have heard about ACOM trying or having set standards for new degree nomenclature within our field. These degrees really won't be affected much by that, but the DACCM could. The DAC, no, because that is the degree title that ACOM has made sort of the global title at the doctorate level, and then Master of Acupuncture at the master level, kind of parallel. But they're suggesting, well, at this point, they're saying they're required, but requiring in 2022 for any new degrees that we offer, not old degrees. And there's accreditation commissions can't make schools change anything that they've done, only what they will do. And so if you earned a DACM and you like it, it's yours forever. If you start to feel like DAC is becoming more common or whatever, you just drop the M, right? And then you will have already earned your master's degree that indicates your herbal training, because that's how you'll have gotten the DACM. And what ACOM is suggesting, or again, like I said, requiring for new degrees, is that, let's say when someone in 2022 or later enters Pacific's current DACM program, then what they'll actually be entering is a DAC plus a Master's of Chinese Herbal Medicine program. And so on their business card, I guess ACOM will expect people to put DAC plus MC, whatever it is, or not. There's nobody who says you have to put anything on your business card. What I currently recommend is that you put, John Miller, comma, DACM, underneath it, Doctor of Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine. That clearly tells anybody that you are giving your card to what it is that you've earned. All right. So that's a little bit on, the politics of our medicine recently around degrees. I think personally, I think it's fine. I don't think it's a very big deal at all. But like I said, if you do the program now, you'll have a choice what you call yourself. You can do the DACM or DAC plus the masters as things evolve. We did this slide. Um, and so I've mentioned the multiple sections of classes. Um, Financial aid and VA funding are available for qualified students. Um, I didn't mention about the pace of the program, like how many classes you have to take, how fast you have to do it. I'm a big believer, especially in post-grad kind of programs, of doing the program in a way that makes sense to you and your life. Our medicine is about balance, right? Most of you are working in your field or will be when we can open up. And, you know, you're paying good money for these courses. Get something from them, right? Don't just go, I can hold my breath for, 6 months and get through this, at sprinter pace. It's not what it's about. Um, these classes are great and you can get a lot from them, and you can get a lot from the interaction with your fellow students if you take the time to do it. It's one of the wonderful things about such a post-grad experience. You're going to be in classes with people that have been in practice for 15 or 20 or more years, and you have people in classes that, just graduated from their master's degree program. So you get very different skill sets, right? Somebody that's been in practice for 20 years, man, they got certain things down. They got bedside manner down. They got maybe their marketing down. A lot of wisdom there. But if you ask me to tell you the exact point location, or even sometimes what the name of the point is, or herbs, certain functions, yeah, but the new grad, they got their stuff on their fingertips. So yeah, it's a rich exchange. Um, so where was I going with that? You can take one course a semester, or you can take more. It really is up to you. The only limit on that is if you want to get Title IV financial aid, right? Stafford loans, you got to be in 6 credits, right? Which is like 2 classes, 2 3-unit classes. So that is, that's that. But between you and me, take the program in a way that you're going to get the most benefit from it, right? That's what we want for you. For when you graduate, you're going to go, wow, I really got a lot from that program. We have not raised the cost of this program in over 4 years, doing our best to maintain it at $435 a credit for the 22 credits. Obviously, if you get a little transfer credit, it's going to be less. Books and fees, I know the books only add up to about $300, unlike, again, having to study and memorize Giovanni and all those big books that cost $150 each. It's not like that in this program. So that's good news as well. I do want you to meet your student advisor. This is the person that you can call with all your needs, comments, suggestions, needs, complaints. She's your lady. And also any thoughts that you might have, I'm always available as well. And so my email is jmiller@pacificcollege.edu. Even if you don't do this program, I always like to hear from people, like what you're experiencing, like what we asked right at the beginning. How's it going out there, right? Did you have to close up your clinic? How's that, right? I mean, if by getting that information, it can help me design courses better, continuing education events, whatever that might be. Which reminds me, what we've been doing through this COVID crisis has been incredible, and it's all available on our YouTube channel. We sponsored 3 3-hour workshops with Dr. John Shen, who's been a regular presenter at Pacific Symposium. He did world-class work on COVID. And YouTube may have taken down some of them may be missing. And if they are, it's because YouTube has been taking down things that claim to treat COVID-19. And John wasn't doing that. But it's robots, just artificial intelligence that scans around for stuff, and then they just remove them. It wasn't somebody with a brain and discretion and judgment saying, oh, now we can see what this guy's doing. It's really good. So we'll have to see. It's available through the Zoom links, I think, on our own website or our blog site. So April, maybe if you're still here, you could post some of that, because Ted Kapchuk shot me an email saying, hey, John did world-class work there. So, I mean, that's pretty high praise. Ted is, if you don't know who he is, author of The Web Has No Weaver, dual professorship, full tenured professor at Harvard now at their medical school, and in another college at Harvard as well. So it's really, really well done. And we put on a number of other 6, 7, 8 other what we call master classes, where we had people like Mazen Al-Kafaji do a case study in dermatology, or Dr. Dustin Dilberg did an orthopedic one. And I mean, so we did a bunch of those, Lillian Bridges. I mean, they're very interesting. So urge you to check them out. They're free, most of them are about an hour. But although John's, get some popcorn, they're pretty long. I think they're 3 hours long, but they're really, really well done. Let's see, is there a max number cohort? It's 35, yeah, April's answered. In your class, and it varies, but 35 is the max in most of the classes. And but again, because we've got such a great faculty, and we can offer more cohorts. So there may be 100 or 150 additional students in your particular group that, you know, if you moved along and just did it, you know, in 2 semesters or whatever, would be considered like a cohort. But people tend to be taking the program at much different paces. Some of them just blast through it, you know, take 10, 11 credits a semester, and then others that are just taking, you know, 3 or 6. So, so anyway, this is Erica. She's doing a great job. That's pretty much it about the transitional doctorate. This isn't promotion, it's just kind of letting you guys know. I mean, we have a couple interesting certificates and new degrees at Pacific College. It's just kind of letting you know what we're doing. I totally encourage you to do the transitional doctorate before considering the medical cannabis certificate. But it's an interesting program. It's 3 courses, 8 college credits. It's got financial aid and everything. And it really addresses the physiology, endocannabinoid system, how it's used in practice, and then a graduate level project, work project. And then this is a program that we worked on for 3 years, I think, before we offered it. And I think it's a great program. And if those of you who are interested in coaching, it's a master's degree in health and human performance, and embedded within the 12 courses that comprise that master's degree are 4 courses that comprise a health coach certificate, and a much higher level than most of the quicker courses that you'll see out there for coaching. And certainly the Masters of Science program, because it not only has the coaching, but has performance physiology, performance psychology, advanced nutritional courses, basically micronutrition, as well as holistic nutrition, and great project-based courses. So if you have any interest in that, or if you know anybody that this would be appropriate for, you know, you could give them to our admissions director or me. I'm happy to hear from them. So these are the steps. This is the admissions email. Oh, one thing I didn't mention, and it may be confusing, nobody asked about it, but you see the program as a DAC and a DACM, but the program is identical for either graduate. What will distinguish the degree that you get is the degree you come in with. So if you didn't do herbal training in your master's degree, so you earned a master's of acupuncture, when you graduate from this program, you'll earn the Doctor of Acupuncture. If you did Master of Traditional Chinese Medicine, Traditional Oriental Medicine, there's a whole host of different names for our master's degrees out there. But if you did one of those with full herbal training, meaning the 400 or 500 hours of herbal training plus clinic, you'll earn the DACM. That's the only difference. So while there will be discussion of herbs and whatever, it's you don't, the courses aren't reliant on you knowing that information. Okay, that's very clear. So if you're an acupuncturist and you don't have to know herbs to do anything in this program, all right? But you'll meet some herbalists, which is always good for referral. Pretty much it, and we're almost at an hour. Fall schedule, April says is almost ready. Like I said, a lot of flexibility, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find something available for you for all these classes. Jonathan, how do we know what requirements we need? Sorry if I missed that. Jonathan, you mean prereqs? Yes. Okay. So that's the 90 credits, right? So that's this slide, right? So the 90 credits of undergrad, of which some of your masters will count, and then CLEP is another easy way to get more units. Or you can take, English Lit at junior college or whatever if you need to, but not many people are choosing that option. The CLEP exam program is really a good program. Believe me, and it's very, very doable. And then the co-requisites, right? The needing to do maybe an orthopedic neurological evaluation assessment, demonstrate your medical writing skill, or clinical science assessment. And that reminds me, and I should probably put this on the slide because I don't want to forget. You also do need to have some kind of biology, and some kind of chemistry. Now we'll count any kind of chemistry or biology towards that, and same thing with psychology. So those are 3 required courses that the Accreditation Commission, ACOM, has required of the entry-level degree, and so we're requiring it of the transitional doctoral students, and so same thing. Most students will have had some of that from their master's degree. The program does not specifically cover functional medicine. Someone asked about that. That's really a study in itself, and highly technical, and it'll certainly be addressed, but it's not, this isn't a functional medicine degree program. In fact, if you're interested in that, we will cover more of that in our Masters of Science of Health and Human Performance than we would in this program. So, and there are other, there are associations that have functional medicine certificates, not degrees that I know of. Usually they're postgraduate type programs. Okay, so people are popping in questions here, and you guys can follow along in the chat. April's doing a great job of saving my voice. All right, so the sooner that you apply, the better, because the evaluation process is a little bit time consuming, right? Fortunately, we have looked at the transcripts, I think, of every acupuncture college in the States. And so it won't be like the first time we've seen one from wherever, ACTCM or something. But it does take time, and also these days, sometimes getting your transcripts, especially from schools that aren't so technical, technology savvy. Heather says, "Thank you, I never age. Give her a scholarship." Flattery will get you everywhere. That's funny. So yeah, getting transcripts. A lot of undergraduate institutions. I just needed to get some for my kid recently from UCSD, and that was like easy. You just automatically online, boom, boom, boom. But a lot of our schools, acupuncture schools, are mom and pop shops, and and everybody's doing 5 jobs. So giving them some time to get your transcripts would be a good thing. how close you found the NISA program to be for PCH transitional doctorate. I don't know anything about NISA's doctoral program, if they're even doing one. But I do know that as far as their entry-level program, if you did a master's degree there, I think they'll have covered, many of the co-requisites that we're looking for. But that question is really easily answered if you shoot it over to admissions. They'll have chapter and verse on almost every other institution and what you'll need to do. Or they'll have the questions to ask you, like, did you take 2 orthopedic neurological evaluation classes, or did you take 2 clinical science classes? Did you have a medical report writing class? From Sabrina, I'm a new mom. Congratulations, Sabrina. Can I speak how time consuming the course? Yeah, that's a great question. I'm sorry I didn't address that. There are papers to write. You should expect work in this program. Again, parity, right? I don't want anybody feeling like they have to explain this program. You have a doctorate from an earned, you have an earned doctorate from an accredited institution. So will be work, absolutely. And for a 3-unit class, I would expect to spend anywhere from, 4 to 9 hours a week for that class, in addition to the class time. So you will definitely. The good thing is, though, it's not a lot of memorization. It's thinking about important topics. How do I talk to a doctor? How do I talk to this patient? Where do I find the latest information about COVID, right? About, KN95 masks. It's like, that's the kind of thing that you're going to be learning. So kind of like making that pathway to that information and those habits more automatic. Nobody's going to be asking you to recite the 3 main functions of Herbofedra. So yeah, it's going to be work for sure. But remember, if you take 1 class this semester, you're 1 class closer to finishing and earning your doctorate. And like I said, I have a lot of sympathy. I took 5 years to earn my master's degree in education. I was working full-time running the college. And there was no way I could go in and take, 9 plus units at a grad level. So I was taking generally 1 class a semester, once towards the end, I took a couple, but, so I know what that's like, and it's totally worth doing. I'm really glad I did it. I met great people, and same thing will happen here. Thanks, Heather, you're really nice. And Joanne, can it be completed in 2 semesters? Yes, definitely can. Yeah, for sure. So, I'm happy to stay here and answer any other questions. I do have another appointment at 4:30, but I'm happy to hang around another few minutes. But I also want anybody who's here who feels like they've had their questions answered and they know what they want to do, or at least at this point, feel free to leave. If you have more questions, you've got the admissions email, you have my email, yeah, absolutely. Krista says, is there a replay? I couldn't get here. Yeah, this is being recorded. It was being recorded automatically because if it were up to me, I'd have forgotten to push the record button. So yeah, April will send it out to you if you ask for that. There's no interview before acceptance. It's all this paper. Best from Marika. Did I pronounce that right? Or is it Erica? I know the town in Chile called Arica. So, average length of completion, percentage who start. Our percentage completion of this program is close to 90%. Oh, with an Erica with an A though. Gotcha, thanks. It's a highly motivated group, right? And the program is not so long that life interferes along the way. I mean, what I would love to have a 90% completion rate in our entry level program, right? But over the course of 4 years in a doctoral program, things happen, right? But, you know, over the course of 2 or 4 semesters, you know, sometimes you can just kind of gut it out if things are challenging. Or again, just take one class, make it easy on yourself. You're welcome, Josh. Look forward to seeing you too. How many coursework hours can be per? Yeah. So that I kind of answered that. How many coursework hours can be anticipated per week? So if you took just 3 units, I would say budget another 6 hours for work. So 6 + 3, 9 hours for that 3-unit class. So if you take 2 of them, 18 hours, right? Plus whatever else you're doing, it starts to add up, right? And you can start with 1 or 2 classes, see how it goes. If you know, you get in and go, Jack said it was 6 hours, but I'm only doing 4, maybe you can take another class. Or if you get in there and goes, Jack said 6 hours and really it's 9 or 10 or more, then just take 1 class, right? So another question, is it possible to condense most classes to 2 to 3 days a week? I think so. April would have a better look at the schedule than I would. I just know that, you know, most classes have like 4 or more sections. So that means it's like each class might be offered every day of the week. And we have a lot of classes going. And so should be able to condense it pretty well. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're going to kind of, you know, summarize the whole thing about getting through it. It's about finishing, right? Not starting. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that took the PhD programs out there, but they never got them done. We want to see you start this program and get the benefits of it and be able to call you doctor. Right? The cost of the application, $100. Thanks. Yeah. Any other questions I missed? Good questions. I mean, really good questions, especially because you asked the things that I forgot to mention, so I always appreciate that. All right. Well, looks like we've gotten to the end of questions for now. Oh, wait. What is the weekly schedule like? Class meet at certain times of day. Again, they're just like all over the place, right? I mean, for example, advanced integrative diagnosis might be offered 9 to 12 on Monday, 12 to 3 on Wednesday, and 6 to 9 p.m. or whatever, not on Friday. That would be cruel and unusual on Saturday or Sunday. But they're all over the place because, you know, we're offering a lot of classes in this program. And so April said we have about 5 options for each course in the program for fall. So that's really good. Yeah. You guys have really made what this program, I mean, the people that have done this program have really made it what it is. Just how well received it's been allows us to keep offering it and offering it in such a flexible way. And to, you know, and to tweak it a little bit. It hasn't changed a whole ton from the beginning, but I think replacing the research design and statistics with that integrative pain management is a huge improvement, huge. I mean, it's just a great class, replacing a class that was like, yeah, okay, I gotta do it. We just combine the learning outcomes of the research design statistics class with the evidence-informed practice. So you're really getting all what you would have gotten in those 2 classes in the 1 class, and then made room for a pain management, which is, you know, going to be really useful. Right? So, okay, so I'm going to say goodbye for now. Again, you know, feel free to reach out to me, and especially April if it's just like kind of technical questions about admissions and stuff. And we'll see you around. Hope to call you doctor soon. Take care.